Hi everyone, it's Father Ed. Just a brief message for you at the end of November as we come up to the Thanksgiving holiday and then start to get ready for both Advent and, dare I say, even Christmas. Some of you are probably looking online these days or seeing in the bulletin the changes to our Advent and Christmas schedules. With the help of our retired priests, Father Tom DeFoco, Father Bob Schmitz, Father Norm Langenbrunner, along with Father Michael Hay, our vicar, we're able to keep a pretty consistent Christmas schedule for what we have usually had. If you look at the Christmas schedule in particular, we used to have 13 masses all told between all three parishes. Now we will have 10. We came together, the liturgy staff and I, to look at what our schedule was and to try to figure out, well, how are we going to do this? And we looked at the schedule and we realized that really all we really needed to trim was about one mass per parish. And that's what we did. And so we looked, thinking back over the past 4, 5, 6 years, thinking what was the mass that was the least attended. And I think what that leaves us with is two things. One, it leaves us with a very workable Christmas schedule so that you parishioners will have a number of masses from which to choose from for the holiday. Two, it won't overwork our priests. Each priest, I think, has no more than 2 Christmas masses, certainly on one day, which would be Christmas Eve, because that's when the most masses are. And then 3 of us have masses on Christmas Day, because each parish will have a Christmas Day Mass. And I thought those two things were really important for the parishes as a whole, was to make sure that everyone had the opportunity to go to Mass, make sure everyone could be accommodated at each church, and then making sure that we didn't overwork any of us priests. So I think we did that pretty well. The second thing it accomplished was that it was really one of the first things that we did as kind of a ministry cohort. And what I mean by that is group people from all 3 of the parishes who do similar jobs. And it's happened in other areas of the parish. Business managers, communications have all met together, youth ministers. This was the first time for the liturgy and music people to get together. And it was a really good and collaborative coming together of the 3 parishes, really seeking to make sure that all 3 parishes had not only what they needed, but also liturgies that would be full and inspiring and life-giving and a true celebration and a giving thanks for the gift of Christmas. Of course, change is hard, and we really have to acknowledge that. I don't know that I have acknowledged that maybe enough. Change is really hard, even when they're smaller changes. The biggest change we've all had is the fact that we have one priest who's pastor for 3 parishes. That's really hard because whereas before each parish had a pastor who was specifically devoted to their community, who was in the office 4 or 5 days a week plus the weekends, to now have a priest who's there every couple of weeks, who's only in the office 1, maybe 2 days a week. That's a huge change, and it's difficult. It's a completely new way of thinking for all of our parishes. I think we need to allow ourselves to have that moment of whatever we're feeling and acknowledge that. I think it's also good, though, as we acknowledge the difficulty of the change, to go ahead and acknowledge all of the really good things that can come about by having a family of parishes. One of the first things I realized in this particular family of parishes is that our staffs get along really, really well. From the very first moment, they were all completely and absolutely willing to talk to their colleagues at the other parishes, to share information, to share ideas. It worked really, really well. There are so many ways that I think we're going to be able to come together because the primary reason for our existence, of course, is not to make ourselves comfortable, if only. Rather, the most important thing about us coming together is two things. One, it's to make sure that we worship God, that we give thanks for all of the blessings that He has given us, most especially the gift of life, and acknowledging the gift that He's given us in Jesus Christ, His Son, and that He lived and died and rose for us, that we might have life both now and in the hereafter and in heaven. Secondly, our purpose for existing is to share that good news of Jesus and the great gifts that God has given us with everyone around us. We're called to go out to Catholics who haven't been practicing their faith for a while. Many of us have people in our families who fall into that category. It also allows us to better go out to our friends and our neighbors who either don't have a church home or really don't know at all who Jesus is. And there are plenty of those people, sadly, in the world today. And it's our commission, the Great Commission, to go out and to share that good news with each other. We're beginning the wonderful celebration of Advent. I hope that this will really be a time for you to deepen your faith a bit, to renew that walk you are taking with Jesus our Lord. And I hope too, if you haven't had the opportunity yet, you'll take a little bit of time to explore the other parishes in our family. I'm always overjoyed when I'm at each parish and I see someone from another parish. I just wanted to see what St. John or St. Gabriel or St. Michael look like. I've never been here before. This was a wonderful experience. It's happened to me numerous times. If you haven't had a chance yet, I hope you'll do that. And I certainly hope, most of all, that you will pray. Pray for the good of your particular parish. Pray for the good of the rest of the parishes in our family. If you would, pray for me and for the staffs and all the work that we do. And let us always pray for one another, that we may always truly love and worship Christ more completely. God bless you all. Take care. Have a wonderful Advent and Christmas season. And I'll see you in church.